Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to COASTER-net Update. We're going to take a look at some news out of Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom from National Roller Coaster Day a couple days ago, where they posted a video about the roller coaster 5K that a couple of folks from management there took part in on Thursday. And Andy, we're not going to talk about the roller coaster 5K. We're going to talk about some interesting things that we saw at the beginning of that video while they were in the office space. So,
well, let's go back a little, Danny Miller, because it wasn't so long ago that we posted a Dorney Park video here on COASTER-net Update talking about the possibility of Dorney Park getting a GCI. And for the most part, I believe that both of us have kind of abandoned that hope that a GCI would be going to Dorney Park anytime in the near future because we didn't hear anything from the park. There's no.
It hasn't progressed anymore.
There were no construction markings anywhere to be found, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, in this little National Roller Coaster Day video, we get more information and more hope than maybe the Dorney Park Nation has ever had in its history.
You got that right. So, do you want me to point out a few of the things that I looked at here? So I have a couple of screen grabs from the video that I have up here on my phone. First and foremost, there's two people being involved in the conversation. One of them is GM Mike Fennell, and then the other is forgive me, I can't recall who that is. I'd have to go back and look at it. I believe it's someone in marketing or PR.
Now, keep in mind, Mike Fennell was part of the whole Fury stuff as well. That he was.
Yes, he was.
So heroines for the opening of Fury 325.
Yes.
As a first-year GM down there, so he's no stranger to teaser campaigns and such.
Yeah, for sure. So we have she's holding a book, which is she's opened at the beginning of the video to the chapter, which is the 10 best steel roller coasters in the world or something to that effect, and the book has to do with the best roller coasters in the world. It's a book about that, not a book that I recognize, but I'm sure other folks have. So that's one. On her computer screen, she's got a dual monitor up. On this computer screen that you can see, it very clearly is Roller Coaster Tycoon or something very similar to it. It appears to be Roller Coaster Tycoon, the classic version, either Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 or 2, and very clearly a large wooden roller coaster on the screen being built in a park of some sort. Right next to that is what appears to be a laptop or an iPad with an attachable keyboard that has the American Coaster Enthusiast logo on it. And it's the old American Coaster Enthusiast logo.
Yes,
I don't know if that's significant or not. And then if you look behind her, back behind her, I actually have a different screen grab for this where it's wider, where she snaps and her shirt changes. In parentheses or in brackets, it looks like it says HII, and then hashtag amazing looks like ... 2019. Now, amazing looks like, I think, is a hashtag that some of the parks have been using.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the parks have been using that this year.
And there's also a folder on there that says on her desk there that appears to say something along the lines of top secret or classified or confidential, and then it says new for 2019. So, and then she's got a to-do list hanging on the bulletin board in the back with some things scratched off. It's hard to tell what's written on there. We certainly can't make out everything. It looks like one of them says Pet Snoopy. Looks like one says Haunt, season passes, pre-K passes is on there as well. There's some other things scratched out that we can't really make out. And then next to it, it says today is National Roller Coaster Day. It looks like there's some other things hanging up on the bulletin board there. So there's not a whole heck of a lot here, but at the same time, there is a lot of little tidbits here that may mean something.
Well, there's one more big thing. So in a different shot, with Mike Fennell, there's another TV screen.
Oh, yes.
That has a map over it, a satellite map, which is clearly the Dinosaurs Alive section of the park.
Yes, because you can see the main parking lot off to the left. You can see the employee parking lot at the bottom of the screen. That's that corner of the park, and it looks as if Stinger is still there.
Well, it's probably from Google Maps, so Stinger will be there.
Right.
It's probably not. It's probably from Google Maps, would be my guess.
So, wood coaster, Ace logo, new for 2019 folder, amazing looks like. That plot of land, which is the plot of land of interest, being on a TV screen. There's little things that we can maybe connect the dots a little bit here. Now, Andy, me being the Dorney Park guy, I want to be on this bandwagon, but I'm very cautious to jump on it.
You are more cautious because you've been burned in the past by such rumors and stuff.
Burned for 15 years.
So they didn't tear down any wood coasters anywhere this year, so I don't know where they would bring it in to put into Dorney. But so you have to assume that would be a brand new wood coaster. Not one that was, well, maybe that one from down in Alabama, where was it? Down south in Alabama. Maybe they sold it to Dorney.
Well,
Anyway, I think the real question here is this? I think they're obviously hinting towards a wood coaster here. There's no question about it. The question is, will it be for 2019? I hope so. Would it be for 2020? I don't know. But I remember when Mystic Timbers started going up, Mystic Timbers, at this point of the year, we were already into a little bit of, a little bit of construction, I believe.
We had an announcement at this point already as well.
We had an announcement. They might have started, I know they started clearing because that's what tipped people off to begin with, is they said, hey, there's clearing here. Why are they clearing these areas? Now, I don't know. Maybe stuff could be going on back there in Dinosaurs Alive. How many people are actually traveling through that area? I know some groups have said there is nothing going on at the Stinger area, so we can kind of rule that out. And then by putting this map up on the screen, I would assume that's the place you always said that if there was going to be a wood coaster, it would be back there in Dinosaurs Alive. You were actually
the pathway to get back there is already established too. So
and you were really upset when they put in dinosaurs to begin with because you're like, no, that's the spot for the wood.
That's where I wanted my prowler. That's where I wanted the Dorney Park prowler. I said that for years. I don't know. Dorney Park usually opens the first weekend in May, sometimes the last weekend in April. Kings Island's usually a little bit earlier than that. So they could potentially be a little bit farther behind, especially if it's not quite as big as a Mystic Timbers. I don't know. It may be more compact as well, whereas Mystic Timbers is
like maybe something more like an American Thunder or something.
Maybe something like that. I don't know. But I think there's a way to justify it as of right now because we're only really a week later than when Mystic Timbers was announced, which I think was the first week in August or so. But if we go much longer without hearing anything, then
the other thing to think about is you already have utilities back there for the dinosaurs. You have probably more utilities than you would have, and I don't know if that. I think that gives you a lot of options, but it might provide some hindrance where if you're digging and stuff, you got to move utilities. But you already have electricity back there. You already have a whole lot of things back there. You have some paths back there that if you reuse them correctly, that'll cut down on what you have to do maybe. Mm-hmm. Traditionally, I feel that Allentown has a little bit harsher of a winter than Cincinnati. Is that correct? Maybe you're the resident.
Yeah, that tends to be the case a little bit, I think. It's probably comparable.
So like, I don't know how much time they would lose, during the off season. Do they do winter in the park at Dorney? Are they doing that this year?
Doesn't appear to be the case.
So they're going to have a full maintenance staff. So 2020 is already looking like a stacked year. That supposedly we still have the Kaga Hyper. We have possibly a Kings Island Giga. We have whatever Cedar Point's possibly doing. to add another coaster into the 2020 group, I think is a little much. That's why, and I said at the beginning of this year, Danny, I said to you, if Dorney's going to get a coaster,
2019 has to be it, because
2019 is the year. And you go any longer, and Dorney's one of those parks that you took out Stinger this year, you removed a coaster. Granted, it was down a lot. I don't know how people felt about it, when they went there. But you removed a coaster. I feel like you got to replace it with something, right? Like, so
you would think. I mean, Laser they eventually replaced with a coaster, which they've now also torn out. So I don't know. I want to get on the train here, and I don't know if I'm confident enough. But like you said, 2020 is looking to be real stacked with, California's Great America and Kings Island seemingly already kind of lined up for stuff. And we're assuming that Cedar Point is going to be doing something for their 150th. Maybe that's a bad assumption. I think that's a great assumption to make, but maybe it's not a correct assumption. Who knows? That would be completely bizarre to me if the roller coaster capital of the world would not celebrate their 150th anniversary with a roller coaster.
They'll celebrate with another hotel. Why not? Right?
Well, so I mean, that's already 3 right there. There's some talk that maybe the Great America thing was kind of put on hold. Who knows? But I mean, Canada's Wonderland and Carowinds 2019. I think you could plausibly see a wood coaster that's maybe in the $7 to $10 million range be built. I mean, and at Dorney Park, where we've talked about this before, where you're in a big market where there's a lot of people who could go to that park. Yeah, $25 million B&M maybe isn't the right move there, but maybe a $7 to $10 million GCI, that's a lower risk investment there.
Or another wood coaster company too. Like we're just assuming GCI, but
right.
You've got Gravity Group that's been doing a lot of nice stuff at different places. You've got Martin and Vlemix has been doing a lot of stuff out in China on their own. There's a lot of different groups out there that could be involved. So I don't want to say that it's GCI or bust.
Right.
There's a lot of wood coaster. I think
we're just assuming that based on the history with Cedar Fair at this point.
And hell, it could be a ground up RMC for all we know. Like, they're not RMCing Thunderhawk, but if they RMC'd, or built like something like along the lines of like Goliath or something, I think that's still a big win for Dorney Park because there's nothing out there like it.
Yeah, certainly not East Coast right there. If it's GCI, then you got a bunch of similar stuff in the same general area. You've got, if you count Lightning Racers too, you got 3 GCIs an hour down the road. So
yeah, and then you got Knoebels that has Twister that's not a GCI but very similar style of that. So who knows? But the park's working with RMC. Who's to say they're not going to build a ground up RMC wood coaster out there either? So I don't think it's GCI or bust here is what I'm trying to say.
No, I would agree with you there.
It could be any wood coaster company, but it does seem like wood coaster would be the way to go. And all of them are fairly cheap.
They need it. Well, you and I were talking about the comparison between Dorney Park, Worlds of Fun, and Valley Fair, and how the coaster collections of those 3 parks are very, very similar, but each one of those parks is missing something that the other 2 have. Valley Fair is missing the B&M. Yeah. Worlds of Fun is missing the launch coaster, Cannon, and Dorney Park is missing the GCI that both of the other 2 parks have. So if Dorney Park gets the GCI to kind of offset Prowler Renegade, then maybe you're talking about Dorney Park maybe having the best of the 3 coaster collections between those. But the lack of a modern wood coaster is definitely apparent when you're talking about those 3 parks.
Yeah. And Danny, let me go out there. I'm going to go on the limb and say this is a done deal. I think that they would not be talking about this in this video if there weren't plans to do it. Because they've never done a video before.
And I haven't heard of anyone else who picked up on any of this stuff here.
So they have not ever done a video before. So it's kind of like, why all of a sudden are they doing videos and putting in stuff if you have 0 plans of doing something? There are plans here. I think the biggest question is does it happen in 2019 or does it happen in 2020? I don't know
the
why.
The folder said new for 2019. I'm convinced that if this is happening, it's 2019.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, I don't know why you would start teasing for 2020. Cedar Fair doesn't do that. They want people to show up in the park in the next year. That's why they don't announce.
They ain't showing up this year.
Well, so I'm going to go on a limb and say this is a new coaster for Dorney Park in 2019, and people better start getting to that park and start looking for clues, because I think this is
well, you know, with this, I'm talking about maybe running down home on Saturday and stopping at Dorney Park. Have not been this year, so I'm thinking about running in, you know, riding some rides and maybe visiting the dinosaurs to say farewell, and also you know, just have as they say over in Britain, just have a look round.
Yeah, exactly. So we will keep you updated, but this is very exciting news, and I think we're onto something here. So as always, thank you for joining us here on COASTER-net Update. I'm, of course, Andrew Barczyk from Chicago, Illinois.
And Danny Miller, who will maybe admit that he grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania after this.
Right on, right, Warriors.
See you guys. Oh, man.